We're back out in the garage. What's going on, YouTube? We're back working on the Ranger again, the 2.3 turbo build. Don't mind all the noise in the background. It's freaking cold outside. Yes, New York weather. One day it's nice out, the next it's freezing. But it is wintertime, so I mean, it's to be expected. Anyways, we're doing an update on the truck and we're gonna work on some wiring today. I'll probably show a little bit more in depth of what I'm doing on the wiring today instead of just an update video. Yay! Anyways, so to start it off though, we are gonna some of the noise down. Let that cool down a little bit and she'll kick off. Anyways, we got the distributor in and wired up. We got the clips on all the wires and everything. We were working on that last time. I also got in a new elbow, 90 degree down in there. I'll move it in there for the oil filter. The elbow is off of a 5.0 Mustang. Gasket and everything seemed to work. A couple guys that I've found on the internet had used them. I'm going to try it out. Filter size was a little different, but I tried to match up the best I could so I wasn't changing too much. I know some of the 2.3 turbos had an elbow on. This one did not. Filter stuck sideways, and whenever you'd unscrew it, you'd just start pissing, and I didn't want that. I'd rather have it up and down. So we put that on there. We filled it up with oil. I don't see any leaks for the main stuff, but I still have to either hand crank it or put a drill down, you know, where the distributor, I might have to pull it again and run that so I can kind of prime all the oil. Someone said I could do it off the intermediate shaft too, but I do have my timing belt already on and everything, so if I was to do it, I'd have to crank everything. Anyways, we got that done. With wiring too, we've got a lot of the main wiring all loomed up and in place. Got the mount last time for my relays and some of my fuses for the engine all mounted up. I made a quick little bracket out of metal. Fan wire, battery wire over here ready to go. My speedo I probably won't use. I might go with a GPS speedo, so I'll probably remove this because I won't need it. I got the throttle cable all hooked up. It came when I bought the kit with a bracket. When I got this, they gave me a new bracket to push the throttle cable out, because this is the throttle off a Super Coupe. And I had to get a new like ball fitting for it. I bought a kit at Advanced Auto. It was for like the Holley carburetor or something, but it came with different sizes, so it worked perfect. Got that changed, got that hooked up. Seems to work good. When it sits for a minute, like right off the bat, there's a slight kind of stickiness to it, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to hurt anything, you know. Maybe it'll help keep it stiff, hold idle, not be loose and vibrate or anything like that. So that's good. I don't see anything like that. What else? I did get some of the alternator wiring done up. I've got it ran down to the starter, but I have not cut it yet because I'm waiting on a new crimper and cutter. The ones I had were too small for bigger wire, like 4 gauge, 2 gauge, all that. So I went on Amazon. It was cheaper than going to the store. I mean, come on, stores. I know you got to pay for employees' labor and all that, but to go on Amazon and get one for like 20, 30 bucks as opposed to 90, that's a big jump to be paying that labor, guys. Come on. So I'm waiting on a crimper to do that, and when that gets done, I'm going to do my new ground for my cab, because there is a cab ground that I got to do yet. Waiting on, like I said, the crimper. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do my main engine ground, my battery ground, get my battery cable all ran over and all that stuff to finish out here. I do have to run this wire yet to my alternator. I don't have to, but again, if I don't do it, then my alternator, I'm going to have to like rev it up, kind of like I have to do in my Porsche to kick it in. With my Porsche, you can start the car and it doesn't have like an ignition set up to tell the alternator to kick on. So you literally have to rev it up to kick the alternator in, which when it sits for a while, I don't personally like, because I mean, if you know, you're not, it's been sitting, the oil's not at the top of the engine, and you kind of rev it, you know, you get the point. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna run that, and then today I'm gonna run in some of the wires inside the cab. I've got the inertia switch, which is over on the passenger side, which I'm gonna run through here. I've got some of my ignition wires, a bunch of that stuff I'm probably gonna mess around with today. And I might even, if I get that done, start mocking up cardboard for the door panels so I can start getting ready to make them. I'm waiting on material. Supposedly it's shipping, but I haven't seen nothing on tracking yet. So yeah, I mean, I still have a lot of other little odds and ends to do. I still got to finish, if you can see that, I still got to finish putting the fittings and stuff on my wastegate. I do have a manual boost controller I got to put in and that I can run. I do have a switch that came with this Ron Francis kit on there for electronic boost gauge. I wasn't planning on doing electronic boost gauge, but I don't know, I might have to put a solenoid to that. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to message Ron Francis and see if I can go with just the manual without that. I know in my old Daytona Turbo Z that I still have the wiring hooked up to the solenoid, but I'm running a manual because I was told, now I haven't tried it really yet, but I was told some people were having issues if they didn't have at least the electronic part hooked up to it to kind of, you know, dummy it, so to speak, confuse it, you know, to the computer saying that it's there, whatnot. But I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I hadn't had the car long enough in my possession to really mess with it. I got the car. I did the vacuum line stuff. I did a few things to finish certain stuff up because when I bought it, it was, the guy had already said motor was rebuilt, tranny was rebuilt, all that. I was just trying to finish some stuff off to get it driving because it was overboosting. I got that done, and then right when I got that done, it pretty much went off to paint. So I haven't really got to play with it too much. I got to drive it 2 or 3 times. When that comes back, I've got some stuff to do to that too. So, but anyways, yeah, so I'm going to run the manual booster. If I have to, the wiring's there. I can get a solenoid quick and run at least electric to that. I don't think I'm going to have to, but again, I'm going to message Ron Francis and, you know, see if it's necessary or not. Anyways, I do have the hookup for an O2 sensor too, but I'm not doing the O2 sensor. I'm doing a wideband. So I'm going to have to run that too. I probably won't do that today. I'll probably get through this other stuff. And I got to do a little cleanup because sometimes when I get working on this shit, I get messy. But anyways, yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, as far as an update is with everything, I got to run my coil as well. I do have the wiring and everything in place for it somewhat, but I don't know where I want to put it. I mean, you guys can see here, I could run my cable over, and sorry for the camera, I should be on a tripod, and I could put my coil somewhere here, but the problem is with this tire here, I don't want water and everything whipping up on it and just covering it, making it nasty, corrosion, all that stuff. So I mean, it's either there or I still have my power steering mount here, and on the top where the alternator used to go, I'm thinking of maybe mounting it there and then just running this wire back and over to it here and keeping it closer to the distributor and the engine. I think it'll look cleaner. Then I can run my fuel regulator right here and run my lines back over that way. I'm thinking. I'm not fully sure how I want to go about it yet. If anybody's done a 2.3 Ranger build or anything like that and they've done something that looks really decent and clean, let me know in the comments if you're going to watch this video. I know I don't have a lot of subscribers yet on this channel, and I know I don't have a lot of views on a lot of these videos, but sooner or later someone might see it and, you know, might say, oh shit, I've done that. So anyways, yeah, leave a comment if you've done what you guys think so far. Again, I'm no expert at any of this, and I haven't really done any how-to things. I've just been kind of documenting my journey with it and stuff like that. So yeah. So anyways, I'm going to get started on this wiring, I think, in the cab. And I might film a little bit of it while I'm doing it. I haven't really done that yet. Like I said, my last videos were more updates and what I'm planning and what are some of the background with the truck. And, you know, I'm just playing around with different things and documenting my build, really. I mean, I've got other builds too. When the Daytona comes back, I'm going to document that. Got that behind me. The 91 Nissan. My son's been slowly starting to work on it. The other day, he stripped out the interior. And the steering wheel and stuff. We found a small hole over in the floor. I mean, everything looks good. A lot of it has a little surface rust here and there. We want to clean up. We are trying to restore it and make it a little better. And he wants to change the color and everything anyways. So he started doing that, and then I'm gonna have him come out in a little while probably and wire brush it and start getting it cleaned up. I need to have him start chipping away and cleaning up over in this corner, because right here is where the hole is. And yeah, I want to clean some of this up before it starts getting really bad and rotting through on him. This is going to be his car. He's only 14, so he's building it for himself. You know, he's saving right now. He's been working on and off. He wants the custom fenders, and he wants a different body kit and the wide body and stuff. So he's been saving his butt off. He bought the Lambo door kit, and we changed up his radiator a while back. We were setting up for a twin turbo setup build, but for now we're just gonna run this motor. We cleaned it up, did some stuff, let him learn when he, you know, gets his license, so it doesn't have too much power. It's the NA motor. So, and then he can decide whether he wants to switch to the twin turbo or do like an LS swap. So we'll probably do some videos on that car too when he comes out. And I am also starting to get some sheet metal for this project right here. I got to get some shelves and stuff so I can organize some stuff, because I got to clean the rest of the stuff out. But we need to do some patching in this car on the floor pretty good. And don't mind this junk. This is something I'm going to be doing for a friend. Radiator core support. I need to do some new sheet metal on that and clean that up. And then we got to finish pulling the dash, because the firewall's got a bad spot right there. But yeah, we're going to start redoing this. And this is going to not get probably a normal build either. When I finally finish the truck and all said and done, and I can start turning my extra money over to this car, I'm gonna probably do an SRT4 in it. I'd like to try to SRT4 swap it. I think that'd be a decent build on this, you know. Are we looking for perfect on it? No, we're gonna kind of keep it a racy, you know, sleeper kind of look. I mean, we'll repaint it a little bit, but we want it to be like that. But we're probably going to do an SRT4 build on it. So there'll probably be some videos in the future for that too. Anyways, guys, I guess we'll get at this and, you know, let's get something done today. All right, here's my inertia switch, and it runs up here. And I'm going to have to look at these colors, because I've got new ones that run right from the fuses out there. So it's either run those straight into this inertia switch here, Yeah, that'd be the best way to do. And then we'll just cut these back and see where these run and eliminate them and pull them right on out of there. So that's what we're doing. Now we're gonna run those 2 pink ones with the plastic clip. I'm gonna have to extend them, bring them over, clip that in, run this one back, untape that, and see where she runs to and eliminate those. I think that's gonna be my duties. So that's what we're on. Well, the only thing that sucks is normally when I have to splice in wires to make something longer, I like to stay the same color. Problem is, I have no pink wire. So we might have to switch color. So maybe we'll go to double white or something. Yes, I could have just ran those pink wires out here, snipped in, and ran to like the old harness and stuff, but with this Ron Francis, I'm eliminating a lot of the old harness. I'm going to go back through the wiring. There's a plastic clip over there, connector clip. I was going to the junkyard to find the other side so I could splice on this side, but I think what I might have to do now, because every junkyard I've been to around my area is year specific type deal, this and that, and none of them are the one I need. So I might just eliminate that too and have to hardwire everything, which is a lot of extra work, but you know, it'll be cleaner. And not only that, yes, I'm seeing wiring here, but I'm trying to eliminate some of the wiring so you can't see it, you know. If I can eliminate a lot of this and thin it out and hide some of it to headlights and different things like that, I don't mind seeing a little bit. To the injectors, to certain things, I myself don't mind. Again, it's preference. Some people like trying to tuck that under the fuel rail and stuff, where I could have, but I went, you know, over top. So yeah, so I'm doing it this way. And where's my snips now? Anyways, back to it. tape from '93. Gotta love it. And you know I'm definitely speeding a lot of this up because this has taken me a long time. Once we get a couple started, we'll have a little more room to slide them around and work with. Found my pink wire. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? Well, starting to. It ain't there yet. I got a long ways to go. So, I'm not going to get too excited. Sure, I could spread all this out and rip it all off quick all at once and then have just all the wires laying around, but I'd rather keep it somewhat like this so when I do look back at diagrams and different things to know what the heck is what, I have a little bit better idea. Stuff like that. I can read diagrams to a certain extent. So, I mean, that's how I figured out a lot of this for the clip and everything with pinouts and stuff. But I'm not the greatest, so I'm not an expert, So I try to do things to make it easier for me when I'm learning this stuff. I do know on this side, inertia switch. I'm going to have, of course, my fan over here. I'm going to have my washer fluid over here. There might have been a evap canister or something over here. So some of this might have went to that too, type deal. Not 100% on this. I couldn't find my plug name for this one with my wiring diagram. Like I found the pin out, but I wasn't fully sure on other breaks where things came out. So that's why I'm doing it this way and slowly trying to go through. Tie things back from the inside out so I know for sure colors and stuff is what's helping me now. Can't find it this way, find it that way, right? That's right. In the end, I'll figure it out. So there's my two inertia switch wires, which for now I will cut back. I'll leave enough just in case I have to do something or I ever want to use this switch for something else or this and that. Why cut it so far back? It's wasteful. It's not broken. Never know what I could use it for. There's my pink wire for inside. Yes, they'll both be pink and black. I'll put something on that just for a reminder for myself. When I put them on, maybe put a piece of red tape on each end so I know, like, hey, this is, this one, what is it, positive, negative, comment, whatever they consider it. Probably positive, negative. But yeah, I'm going to go back through that whole harness that I just pulled out anyways and break it up, simplify it, shorten things where they need to be so I know what they are. Yes, they in factory they cluster them all together like that, and they run them a certain way. And I mean, it's all right for fast stuff, but when you're doing a build like this, like I said, some people like to hide them totally, which I was thinking of doing that. But then, I kind of like some of the wiring, like I said earlier, to the injectors, stuff like that. So a little bit here and there doesn't bother me. I just need to know what's what. Ever have a problem, I want to know where things are and make it easier for me to go through. Simplify it for my brain. So, like I said, I'm not an expert on this, so I'm going to make it easier for me down the road if I have any issues. This is a big build, and it could go wrong tons of ways electronically, wiring somewhere, a bad ground, frickin' timing. We don't know. There's a lot of factors. So, this is what I'm doing. So, let's get back onto this. Need the better tool. This whole time I've been looking for this one. I probably should have used my other one. This one, like, loose. I do need the gripper style. Just to grab and shred those. So, this is going to cut it close after I get it up in and down. If these aren't long enough, I guess I'll twist these back together, use pink and black on the one, and then the one without it I'll switch to a white or something. That might be the route I have to go, but we'll see. We're going to mock it up quick. Trying to do right now. I'm gonna run this wire up over the top metal steering wheel mount, so that way it's not going against any moving objects, so the pedals or the wheel or anything, and run it down through, and I'll kick it over, down, and this way. So I probably will have to connect that now and run the wire. So me not paying attention, didn't really look at the wires when I cut them. I thought one was marked differently, but they're both solid pink. I done messed up. I should have paid attention to that. If I would have known they were both solid pink, for some reason I had it in my head that one had a black line or something on it, so Should have paid attention. Gonna have to wire these up and get them over there. And once I get it up in here, I can kind of finalize it here. But at the very hookup, I'm not gonna finalize right away. I'm gonna wait for when I first start up, do my checklist. Then I'm gonna have to test it. So I gotta slow down and start paying attention. I guess I was trying to pay attention more to the making of this video or something than I was on the wiring. I could have sworn the other day I looked at it though, and there was a line on it. I might have been looking at a different wire, or it might have been the one out there to the, you know, fuel pump. So we'll just continue on, I guess, until then. Whoops! See? This is why I don't do how-tos. Alright, so we got the wires, man. Clean up the ends of this clip. But I don't think I'm going to hook it up right now. I've got it there, but like I said, since I messed up on that and I wasn't paying attention to which wire was what, I want to look into that. Go back through my wiring a little bit and see what is what, so I can hook that up properly, since my dumb butt didn't mark it down there and I forgot to do. I thought it said inertia really close so I would know what wire was what. My bad again. Alright, so let's see what's next to mess up. What's this one for? Launch control. Tangled mess. I gotta undo and untangle this mess. So, we're getting this untangled. Yellow is launch control, which I don't think I'm using any type of launch control. I'm gonna have to look back at the paperwork on that, if that's for, you know, straight race applications, or if I can hook that to like a neutral safety switch or something. Gonna have to grab my paperwork in a minute, but I just want to get these separated because they're a big cluster. Beep. I mean, here, I'll show you. Everything's a big mess, really tangled up, so I want to get them separated. But yeah, launch control, which like I said, I don't have anything race-wise application for launch control, but it might need to hook up to a neutral safety on the clutch or something. I don't know. I'm gonna look into the paperwork here in a minute, so I know where that goes. I'm just going through them to see what they are. Again, Inertia's over there. I got it wired up through there, if you can see it in the back, and then across here, which I will zip to this to hold it steady. Some of this wiring is going to go too when I change my gauges, so we'll clean that up too. Keyed run. So this is going to go to the ignition, which will run right up same way, unless we find it down here. I don't want to tap in. I know some guys I've seen on a few videos, the ones that I found with the Ron Francis, some are tapping in at the fuse on some of these wires. So I might have to go there with some, but I think some of these I can run right to the ignition and stuff and just run to that wire once I find it. What the heck? What is this for? Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab my paperwork. ECM. Some switch, table switch, what? Table shit, table switch. We're gonna have to grab my paperwork, because I have a diagram what's what. For sure. For sure. Let's just keep getting this untwisted though. This one says start. So I'm thinking that's going to go to a certain wire on the ignition for start. Maybe the engage starter. And then the other one's probably for like an ACC type run when you get in certain accessories. And then this one, it's white. Doesn't really say what it is, but we'll find out. Like I said, when I grab the chart, it'll show me better. I really do like this Ron Francis kit, guys. With the labels and the directions, it's simplified a lot of things, really. Oh, this is the tack. My tack, which I'll probably put like an RPM in this, because it was automatic. I'm switching to manual, so I am going to want a tack. Like I said, new gauges, so I'll be getting one of these, I think. Oh, purple might, no, not purple, but white might be from oil pressure sender, I think. And the blue is the temp. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is, people. We got it now. So blue is for my temp gauge, which has got to go up here. So that means I'll have this for the sender, and then I'm going to need to find the power for the illumination and stuff up there in the harness. Same with this one. This should be, now that it's there, yep, oil. Seen it. The one was kind of smudgy, I couldn't really read it, but it's oil. So it's the oil pressure sender. And then we'll just have to find the power for the illumination and stuff up there. So that's those. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. Now let's get the paperwork and see really what we got. And this is what we got, guys. The orange is the keyed run. Like I said, that's going to be ignition power. The purple is the start signal for ECM. Which that's probably going to go to any ACC power, I would say. Green is the tack. I'll put that to my tack, my RPM, whatever, you know. Wherever I put that, I'm not, let's see. So temp, oil, yep. My feeds, yellow is my ECM launch control. Like I said, don't know. Like I said, I don't have nothing that I know that's launch control unless it's for like a cutoff switch at the clutch or something. I'll have to look into that. And table switch, the tan ECM. We're going to have to look in and see where that goes. Tan is marked table switch. It needs to go to ground to activate. Cool. Perfect. Oh, be advised, the inertia switch, that's what I'm doing. But I gotta remember what's what. Yellow ECM launch control. Goes to ground to activate as well. And run the yellow wire to switch for activating launch control. Yeah, there goes the ground. We got it. Yeah. So I'll have to ground wherever that goes. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Because, like I said, I switched this to clutch. It wasn't automatic. Now it's not automatic. I got to see if there's any, you know, there should be like some vehicles have that, you know, that clutch shut off switch. So if the clutch isn't pressed in, you can't start the vehicle, stuff like that. I don't think launch control would do that, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, a couple little things that I'm not sure of on this that I'm going to message them. I heard they're really good at, you know, responding and stuff. But if anybody else knows too, let me know in the comments. You know, I'm not an expert, like I said. I'm just trying to figure some stuff out myself. So I'm learning as I go. Obviously, I already messed up the inertia switch because my dumb butt didn't cut it in the right spot to keep wire for wire. So I'm going to have to look that up now. I'm going to have to probably backtrack, which is going to be a little tough because I do have some of it loomed up now. So I'll have to see where I goofed up and figure it out. Anyway, like I said, it's only 2 wires. But yeah, so I mean, we're going to go through and just start finding where these got to go now. Fun. I got to figure out how I want to wire these two and what's what. So now I'm going to hit the books and figure these last ones out. Here we go. Yay! I learned something today. So, yeah, getting back to the wiring, just like I kind of had in my mind, but I really wasn't sure, was, you know, that the inertia switch is just a cutoff for continuous power. One wire's power, one has nothing until it gets set off, then it gives it the connection. Yay! There's no signal or nothing. So I did have that a little wrong, but so easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's going to be not a problem for me. I'm glad I didn't hook it up because all I have to do is once I do get my battery and everything hooked up and I can get my power into here, I can test which one's power and put it on the proper side, you know. So, and then the other one goes to the fuel pump. I might be able to see out there too, even with the wiring, but it tees off where I have it all loomed, so it would just be easier the other way. Anyways, whew, stress off my back. See, we learn something every day. And like I said, this is a learning process for me, and my little OCD this whole time making this video as I'm doing this was thinking about that. Oh crap, just another scenario I got to deal with. But I stopped for a minute, turned this video off, went and used YouTube, just like I'm putting shit on YouTube, and inform myself a little better with stuff. Perfect. So, we're going to get back to some of the wiring. This paper I'm reading does have the directions on where's what. So orange is the keyed run, and it has to go to 12 volt when key is in run and start. Purple is just for start when it's, you know, it's to go down to my starter in the keyed start. So I got to get a battery anyways. It'd be easier to find those because if I can hook a battery up quick and make sure I got power in here, I can do some testing to see which ones are what coming out instead of trying to go through the diagrams. I might sit and go through the diagrams anyways. I have before. I don't have, like, I know there's a Ford book that like all the big companies do. I've seen it on eBay. That's supposed to have a better wiring diagram. I have the Heinz manual. I don't have a Chilton, or I'd try and do both of them together. That's what I used to do. But I went through that and I went through the diagrams and I kind of got most of my pinouts for my big block, which I'll show you. So I kind of got most of the pinouts for the numbers for this big block here. That's what I was at the junkyards trying to find, and mine's like a 105, I don't know, M or C or different, but most of the ones I found were the fully round ones because I think there's 2 or 3 different ones. And like I said, I've got non-4-wheel drive. It was a V6, you know, Splash. So there's certain things, like, I guess a lot of the models have the other one from what I'm seeing. So anyways, but I might just clip that off and hardwire and redo whole wiring with that too. That's why I was doing the pinouts. But anyways, so yeah. But I'm glad that's that. So like I said, I am waiting on some tools to get the battery hooked in and a couple more things before I start the rest of this. So I'm kind of started this and got myself in a jam. So it's either sit and look it up in the book for a while, which I'm not going to put on video, or wait until I get to the battery. So either way, I'm going to stop this video here probably. So I decided I'm going to film a little bit more. I got my wiring diagram book. And let me set this in a little bit better spot. Angle it down just a little bit. So I got my book. I was going through. I went back out. We snipped where the old inertia is, of course. Started cutting that open. Got that removed. Reused that wire earlier. Now I'm just figuring out what these other connectors are to, so I can splice them and remove them. Clean this up and label some stuff. I did find my windshield washer pump wires, my positive ground for that. If it don't ground out through the original wiring, I'll use the positive from this if it's good, and then just ground right here at the pump to the chassis or something. I mean, it's the simplest thing to do. But if this ground is still good through everything else, as long as I do everything right, which it should be, because, you know, I need everything else to work, and that shit's got to be grounded too. So if they're in the same circuit, it should be good. We'll be good. So, but I'm just going to label some of this as I go and clean it up so I remember and know what's what. Like I should have been doing from the get-go. I should have done this when I took it apart. I had my son out here helping me and learning, and had a buddy come over once and help with certain things. So sometimes things don't happen. I don't think about it right away. You know, you get talking, you get busy, you're like, yeah, let's get into this, and you kind of go a little too much. So this was washer pump. That's nice. And then we'll look in the book for some different colors still to see what these are. I think these are going to be able to just be cut right off and drawn back. But I got to double check. So I'm going to look in this book and move on. Yeah, I said a little while ago I was probably going to stop the video, but I just wanted to add this into. I guess I'm going to go back through. I'll do more of this, get it cleaned up, kind of show what I've got going, cleaned up when I'm done, and then maybe I'll end it there. That'll be a little bit better. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just trying to make a good interactive video. So we'll get rolling on this. So, all right, so green and orange. If you can see it right there, we snipped these off there. One was, like I said, the 2 wires that went to the one clip were the inertia. And then the other ones, I believe, went to like, says through a clutch pressure switch / AC thing. So it looks like it was stuff to the AC. The 2 purples were just continuous hot, from what it looks like anyways. So we just eliminated these because I'm not going to need them. I clipped the continuous there. I will cap them off, tape them off in with the new wire loom. If I ever need a continuous hot through there, I've got them, but it'll be cleaner and tucked away and you know, this and that. Again, like I said, I believe this one is to my heater, and this one I thought was too, because some of the wires are for like switches and stuff. So I have to get a new heater fan setup and look at it. There might have been some kind of different block off solenoid in there that the other one plugged into, because it was a heater AC unit all in one up on there with the compressor over here. So that might have powered the compressor from the switch over there. I have to look at the whole unit again and see what plugged in where. No AC, but I'd at least like to have a heater fan, which once I figured out the wiring, I could probably easily snip and rewire that. So do I really need the heater? No. This truck's only going to go out when it's nice, but if you ever get caught in the rain on a muggy day or this and that, I don't want it to fog up, you know, on the inside and have to deal with that. So at least having a little heater, even if it's only a one setting heat, it'll help defrost things and stuff, you know, get some of that dew and everything off there. So stuff like that. Like I said, I don't really want to drive it too much in the rain too, but you never know. You're out, you get caught in it. It happens, you know. So yeah. So we're gonna move on and clean up a little more. So figured it just as I thought. Blower motor. This one goes to blower motor resistor assembly. I found it in the book finally. I do not have my housing anymore for my blower motor and my AC unit. I tossed the whole thing instead of fabbing it up, and I should have kept it and cut it and tried to fab it and everything. So I'll probably end up going to a junkyard or seeing if I can find one online that still has the housing for the resistor and the motor. If I don't need the resistor, I'll just run the motor. But if I do, at least I can get the housing with both and then just plug them in and make it look fancy. And I can actually cut the wires a lot shorter there, so they just swing up and go right to it. And then I won't have a big mess right there. So at least I know what they are now. I'm going to have to tuck them to the side for now since I have them marked. And when I get ready to build that, excuse me, tickle in my throat. When I get ready to build the housing and do what I'm going to do, I can mess with that more. But at least I know what they are now. So I got that out of the way. I do have this one vacuum, and I don't know if it went to a canister or not, so I am looking this up to see if I can just eliminate this vacuum too. My new computer has its own little vacuum slot, so I'm sure I can. New harness and everything too. Goes right in there. So I just want to double check just to make sure, but that it's not something vacuum style for when I click over it needs that vacuum to shut off something. This could be some kind of heater vacuum lock for the system. So if that's the case and I need the hook vacuum line up to that, I will. I've got extra slots. I'm going to be teeing off anyways up here with some vacuum. So if it's a normal vacuum resistance thing, I can tee off into that too. So we'll see. Got to look up more on it, but yeah, we'll get that tucked out of the way. At least we got it labeled. And then I'll be on to the other side to figure out what those are. And then once I figure them out, I should be good, because I don't even know if I'm going to need that harness. I know a lot of my headlight stuff and hazards and stuff look like it come out of my main clip. So that'll be nice. That'll really simplify some stuff. And I can clean this up. Again, you're going to see some wiring, but it'll be good. So these two purple live feeds, I am just going to heat shrink the ends and then tape them off, and then I'll run them right to this case, like I said, in case I ever need them. All right, we zoomed right in there, so we're gonna get a little bit smaller of a piece, and then I'm just gonna take it. I might actually cut one in half. Get my scissors. cut one in half, and I'm going to slip it back on, and like I said, I'm going to let some of it hang off the end. Because what I like to do is this, watch. We're going to heat it up, let it kind of fold over. Heat this end up so it holds good. Heat that end up. Squeeze it off, pinch it off, and then I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to just put a piece of tape on there. Tape. Sure, I could just tape it, but this is just an extra little protection from the ends, you know, that I like to do. I'm just going to do that. And then I'll even tight roll it. Squeeze just the end, tape it off like that. We'll do the same in the next one. And then we'll put them in there and we'll kind of tape them right to it. And that's the shorter one. Fold that over. Another one again. Pull that off the end. Pull that out a little bit. Snip it. And make sure that's good. Don't need that much tape, but oh well. What we'll do is we'll utilize that, and then I'll just tape them down like so. And then I'm just going to grab one more piece, like so. I'm just going to walk it, and I like to walk it kind of. So. Flip that. Now I could go in and remove them from the clip inside. It'd be a lot cleaner. I could go in and unpin them and stuff like that. But like I said, if they are continuous power for something, whether it be ACC or something else, I'm just going to leave them and bury them and tape them off, and I can utilize them later if I need them for something. You know, I never know what accessories I'm going to put in this. I know I'm going to do a lot of different lighting and some other stuff, so you never know when you need it. So those are labeled, tucked to the side for now until I do my heater motor and stuff, and then I can finish it off, wire looming and all that stuff. And that's that. Plus I got to get a whole new washer pump thing, motor, container, all that, the whole unit. I want a new one. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, if I'm going to do stainless steel or make a custom one or what. I am thinking about making a custom coolant container for over next to it, as like a reservoir for my coolant. But I haven't fully decided on that either. But yeah, so that side's kind of good for now. So we got that. Like I said, I could go back to the inside, but I want to get my battery stuff going now, because I think it's going to be easier to troubleshoot with my test light and stuff to see what goes with the key. So we're not going to do any more in there for now. Plus I got to mess up with that inertia switch just to see which is what for me. Which is no biggie. Once I hook this positive up, it should tell me. And then, yeah, so we're going to go to this wire now and see what these are to. See what I can eliminate on that to clean some more stuff up. And again, like I said, I might go GPS speedometer. So I might just eliminate this cable. right here. I'm going to look into them more, do a little more research. The ones I have looked up, people seem to like. I really don't have to go that route, but the kit I'm looking at has one, and it has, you know, it comes with, I kind of like the gauges with the oil pressure and all that. So I might just do that. We can eliminate that and clean that up. And then I've got to get some stuff sprung up underneath for my fuel pump and all that good stuff. So yeah, let's start working on this and looking in the book and seeing what these wires are. See what I can find. Brown light green, purple light blue, and yellow red. Yellow red. So that is going to cruise control circuit, speed control amplifier. This goes. This will connect in and go out. I don't think I'm going to need this. I think this is all for cruise control stuff, and I'm not using any cruise control with this. So I am going to say we can eliminate this, which I'm going to look inside and see where it goes to and see if I can't just unhook it from inside, if I'm not going to need it anymore. Well, hang on. I might be able to use pink, orange. Oh yeah, this is going to go to the speed sensor out of that for cruise control, and I'm not using cruise control, so I should be able to eliminate that. So we're just going to pretty much pull that right the heck out of there and call it good. And I don't have to worry about that anymore. Then I've already pinned this out, so once I get everything going and I get my motor stuff situated and I'm ready to start headlights and stuff, I believe all my headlights, flashers, and all that run out of this module, which means I can pop that on the inside and cut it, or I can, if I do find the other piece, because I'm not gonna lie, I did have it when I first had this truck, but when I was selling the engine and everything, we were moving parts around and it got thrown into the bin of parts that I sold the guy. So I ended up losing my whole wiring harness for headlights, taillights, all that good stuff. I might have said that on another video, but I wasn't sure. So anyways, yeah. So just to recap. Oh crap, I threw it away. So let's eliminate this and clean that up and see where we're at. and then we might move on to some other glorious stuff. So I want to take a look inside on the dash, because I mean, if that is cruise control, I want to get rid of it totally. I am not going to mess with no cruise control at all on this. I eliminated the steering wheel, which had the cruise control. Well, I haven't taken fully taken it out yet, but I'm eliminating the steering wheel, which would have the cruise. And I'm going to a manual instead of an automatic, which I don't want to mess with the cruise anyways, so it's no fun to cruise. So let's see where this comes in and goes to and see if we can eliminate it. All right, so it's really hard to see, but here's the big white clip. That right there, that grommet, is those wires. So I'm gonna pull that out and I'm just gonna run that in, and I'm gonna tuck it up in and wrap it around some of this wiring harness. That way it's there. I'm not splicing it anymore. I mean, I can cut it all off, but it's just easier to pull it in and wrap it up and tuck it away in there. And I can do it so it looks good. And it'll just be less cutting and stuff. I'm gonna probably have to splice a lot of that stuff later on anyways, like I said, when I do more of this interior wiring, when I get the battery hooked up, because I believe even after I get all the stuff with everything else, I'm gonna have to run a power to my fuse block there, because with this new wiring harness, I don't think none of these are, you know what I mean? So I only have the one out there for the engine, but to power up everything in here should be through that. So I think there's one in there that I'm gonna have to do. Yep, I think there's a continuous and, oops, sorry, my hand's in the way. I think there's a continuous in that block and ACC, or yeah, continuous in that block, excuse me. And then I can power up everything. So that'd be cool. So I'm gonna get this done, and then I'll kind of show you what I did afterwards. And I mean, I've already sped up a lot of different crap in this video, and it's been all over the place with this wiring because my indecision making earlier with the mess up. And I mean, it's not, I guess I just overreacted a little bit with that, you know, like, oh my God, I just panic mode and screwed myself. And then I didn't really stop and think, hey, it's just a cutoff switch. So it's an easy power and, you know, continuous until it clicks and it kicks out the power, or vice versa, you know. So all I got to do is test it and make sure I just wire each side up right so it's not backwards, you know. So, oh my God, panic mode! Ah! Anyways, let's get this done. I don't know how long this video is going to be this time. So nothing's ever as easy as it's going to be. This grommet wasn't like a normal grommet I could slip off or anything, so I'm cutting it off. That way I don't have nothing bulky up there. I can just twist this up in and hide it good and tuck it away. So I figured I'd share. That's part of it, and then the other part was right here. I got this part cut. Now I'm just kind of going in with my flat head to spread it and my scissors to kind of go up so I'm not nicking into any of the wiring and getting that. And she's out. Yeah, that's the inner piece and then the outer piece. So I'm gonna button this up, wrap it up in here, and then I gotta get on Amazon and order some plugs. And then until I get the rest of the stuff for the battery, this is a good spot, I guess, to really stop this video. We'll pick up with the last of it. So I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get out of here, guys, and I'll pick up on the next part when I get all the stuff I need.